Hey Virgo, I'm doing something different for this winter solstice reading, and I've got out these decks that I use for personal private readings, and they are from Mel Brown, who is an Aboriginal healer in Australia. I'm waiting on my fourth deck from her, the Aboriginal Spirit, but we have the Goddess Chakra, the Healing Oracle, and the Dreamtime Oracle, and I'm going to take a card from each of them. I went looking for Aboriginal cards on purpose, and I live in Manitoba, Canada, on Anishinaabe land. The beadwork motif in these cards speaks very much to a lot of the beadwork that happens in my, well, it's not my part of the world, in their part of the world, Anishinaabe land. And so when I found these, I was extremely excited. I've also gone looking for, I have my own experiences with the divine Aboriginal spirit and spirits, and that's why I go looking for voices for them in the cards. Same with, I've had experiences with the Orishas and the Black Doves, the Sibyls. The Delphi Oracle was always an African prophetess, and they've done a great deal of work with me. Yeah, for at least 15 years or more now. And I have Kali here on the table. I don't have a deck for her yet, but she has visited me in my home, and I work very much along the lines of what she sends me to work on, especially in areas of justice and children and murder victims. And also there's Alana Fairchild's Kuan Yin, Wild Kuan Yin deck. To me, Kuan Yin reminds me of Kala energy, which is another form of Kali energy for me. And I love that deck. And that is a Chinese painter who Alana isn't, I realize, but she teamed up with a Chinese painter who went to Tibet, and all of those cards are based on scenes in Tibet. So I am gathering what I can as I go, and I just wanted to give a brief introduction about these because it's important spiritual work and needs to be introduced the right way. I'm going to take a card from each deck. This deck has cards color-coded for past, present, and future, so whatever we get from this one will tell us whether we're dealing with past, present, or future situations. These are oracles, these cards are stories that have come to Mel in dreams from her ancestral guides. And so let's get, and then we will, what I'm going to do is I will get those cards, set them up, get their energy coming through, and we'll get into tarot. And then once we're done the tarot, or once we have the tarot laid out, then we'll read the meanings for the oracles and work it all together. All right, Virgo. What part of the body does Virgo need to be? Interesting. Throat. Communication and throat. Did you get math? Yes. 42 principles of math. Egyptian, yes. Where the 10 Commandments come from. It has so many things. Goddess math. Now the 42 principles are Egyptian human creations, yes, for religious ceremony, but they're excellent commandments, regardless of how corrupt they are. But okay, so we have the energy of laws, but it's this blue chakra. We could say chakra, we can say which part of the body if you're not into chakras. That part, your throat area, your communication area, your breathing, well, not lungs, obviously, but that part of you, Virgo. And let's find out if we're dealing with past, present, or future. Past, present, or future for Virgo. Now, Mel did design these cards for them to be picked, selected, not shuffled, to fly, but typically I don't have a problem shuffling them. There we go. There we go. We have present energy. Present energy. Strategy. Oh, I like that. Possum. What an unusual mix. Strategy. It's a card. They also have that in my Black Doves, my Sibyl's Oraculum set of cards. Strategy is okay. And for a Dreamtime Oracle for Virgo. Wow. Fast and Furious. Fast and Furious. Fast and Furious. Emotional exhaustion. Well, no wonder. Leading to constrictions, restrictions in the throat, in the voice. Okay. So let's find out what Tarot has to clarify. Let me split the deck up a bit. Sorry. Give them a bit of a shuffle just to freshen them up a bit. Tattoo Tarot deck. I use it in these, on this table, in this lighting, because it shows up so clearly. It's also the first deck that called to me. Clients of mine own a copy of it, and it's because of them that I came to this. Them and this deck. Got my own copy. Okay. Okay, Virgo. Flying outside. Wow. Okay, so something I want to say right away about Ten of Pentacles. I know typically it's one of your cards and you are typically considered fixed earth. But in my pink spider world, I have decided that all the evidence points to you being fixed earth. You are 6th house of workplaces, routines, systems, right? And as far as I'm concerned, the Hermit, that is the figure for your house, the one of your cards, is not equivalent to the entrepreneur. The Hermit lives in the cave halfway up the mountain. It's Capricorn that gets to the top of the mountain. So I would put you as fixed earth, and I would put this card as Capricorn energy. And that's no, I don't mean to be slighting anybody. I think the more accurate I can get with what I think your energy is, the better everything turns out. And I would do the same with air signs. Earth signs and air signs, I both want to shift them exactly the same way. And that's what I want to say about the Ten of Pentacles. But you are there. Now, in Ten of Pentacles, there's also the portal to the next dimension or another dimension. And the Hermit figure next to the couple, in at least one version of the cards, speaking of the knowledge of what comes after this material existence, yes? That there's more to life than what's in front of us. And so that whatever we can gain in this life for security and stability and material happiness, or, you know, relationship happiness, it all should be serving what we can do on the spiritual level. And I don't mean dry mission thinking. I mean extremely productive, creative, threatening, you know, on the side of good productivity, you know, being true forces in the world for the true power, not the false power. You'll know what I mean. And that's in the upright. So we're at completion. But there is emotional exhaustion, strategy, and principles. So what is the cat meowing? She's one of my cats. Okay. What is the conflict? Well, that's a conflict, yes. Sun in reverse. Now, I'm a bit of a moon creature. But right here we have a couple in reverse. We could say that it's happiness in reverse. We have a 10. We have 19, which amounts to 1 plus 9 equals 10. So we have 10 and 10. And this is divine timing. So perhaps something is not being realized. Perhaps the spiritual has been neglected. But that would be very unlike Virgo. Well, unless you got too analytic. Okay, so somebody, whoever's the king in this relationship, gone or done? Is that who's exhausted? The flame's out. I don't know, I'm putting that there immediately, but it might not belong there. It might belong next to this king, but different energy though, because king and the knave, I mean, this is more a child energy and more partner energy. Camera cutout. Let's see. Let's try for one more card and then let's just go straight to the oracles, because they will tie it. There might not be anything more to say. More to say. Where can I put it that you can see it? If I move them up, then you can see this. Yes? Okay. The 4 that is the square, that is the box, that is the establishment, the commitment beyond the manifestations of 3, right? Like 3's getting it all up and running. And the 3 of Cups, the 3 Graces, the audience, the collaborators, the companions, the happiness. And we're stuck between 3 and 5, which is regrets. So there could be a third party here. We have 3 people, 3 energies. And we have the idea of right and wrong. And the 4, we're stuck. So we're stuck in intuition. We're stuck in reflective energy. We're stuck. There's no swords here. This was charted, or somebody's interfering, you know, either God stepping in or devil stepping in. And there's possibly, yeah, there could be interference. There could be help. It might be necessary for this to hit, or it could be under attack. Okay. Okay, Virgo, let's find out. Let's find out. I would say that I've had experiences with Maat, but I've had experiences. I've been to Egypt. I've had experiences with whoever is Egyptian. Maat, I believe, is not necessarily an actual being, because I know the story of how the 42 principles were arrived at by the priests. So, but in terms of Mother Earth energy, I'll just read it. But let's get on with it. Maat is the Egyptian goddess who, after the universe was created, brought harmony to the world amidst the chaos which occurred shortly after its creation. Maat was married to Thoth and is the daughter of the sun god Ra. Saturn also, but anyway. And is often depicted with wings on her arms, holding a feather or an ankh in her hand, that cross. I have an ankh necklace actually with blue that I made long before, that knowing that blue would be the right color for it. I often wear that. Maat was not only a goddess, but also came to represent the 42 principles of Maat, which are the laws of truth and justice. And at the time of her death, these principles were used in measurement against a feather to determine whether a soul can enter the divine order of the afterlife. This final judgment is based on the ways in which a person has lived their lives and treated other people. Similar to the principles of Maat, you two are in a position to make a decision about someone in your life. You hold a position of power where your judgment of justice and truth will determine the outcome of the situation. Yes. Do not fear such decisions, as it's likely that your anger will fall short of what others are expecting of you. Somewhere hidden in this situation is a truth which will make a considerable difference to the outcome. Others know the truth, however they will not stand up and be heard, as they're fearful the focus will turn to them. You two are being judged for your ability to handle this situation, as many think it is beyond you to end this amicably, as it will require a great deal of compassion and understanding on your part. You will rise above everyone's expectations and manage the situation with an honorable sense of dignity and justice. Well, this is certainly a high-stakes situation with that Ten of Pentacles and the Sun in reverse, that's for sure. Which means, yes, strategy in the present energy, because obviously, Virgo, strategy would be key here. And we have no swords energy here for strategy, right? So, possum. The possum spends his day sleeping where he cannot be seen, yet is in plain sight. An observer needs to spend time really looking for this elusive creature, and is often surprised to find possum right under their nose. When day becomes night, shy possum transforms to a sociable creature who bravely explores his environment in search of opportunities. Possum is unafraid of the night and takes chances that he wouldn't take during the day, simply because he feels safe in the dark, and his strategies to manage nighttime dangers. Possum's ability to move freely in the branches of trees and competently navigate the dangers on the ground is testament to his agility. His ability to adapt to whatever situation arises is his key to survival. Don't wait any longer to show people who you really are. Hiding in the shadows is a safe place to hang out, but you miss out on so much. You have the same skills as everyone else, but don't like the attention. You want to join in, but are uncertain about how others will accept you. They've been respectful and allowed you your solitude, but will be welcoming of you if you choose to come forward. It's time to find the balance between the shadows and the light and become part of the group. Be assured you'll be fine. You may be a little uncomfortable at first, but within a short time, you will be wondering why you kept yourself hidden for so long. Well, with the sun in reverse, it's not just unhappiness or the loss of a relationship. It is also possibly not being out front and center. Leo energy, right? Fifth house energy, creative energy, expressive energy, pride. Are we suffering from some pride issues? And we're torn between the 3 and the 5. And in the 5, 3 cups are reversed. And I usually say one of those 3 cups needs to be the Ace of Cups that gets spiritual, spiritually filled, and then it balances out to 2 and 2. So there's fear. And if there's fear, then there's hiding. Emotional exhaustion. All right. In the dream time, the koala walked on the ground. It was a hard life for the koala, as he would sometimes have to walk for days to find his food. As the eucalyptus leaves he usually ate grew high in the trees, and getting food was often difficult, as he couldn't reach them. One day he was sitting at the bottom of the tree, tired and hungry, when a goanna walked past and stopped to see why the koala was upset. The goanna laughed and asked the koala if he could see his claws, which the koala proudly showed the goanna. Pride. Okay. The goanna asked why the koala didn't just climb up the tree and get his food. The koala said he didn't know how to climb. So the goanna spent the day teaching the koala to climb. By the end of the day, the koala was an expert climber and sat in the top of the tree, eating all till his tummy was so full that all he could do was go to sleep. When all the other koalas saw him at the top of the tree eating and sleeping all day, they followed his example. From this day on, this became the koala's new way of life. It may be feeling like with every step forward you take 2 steps back. Sometimes our impatience prevents us from seeing that our very actions are what is setting us back. Just reevaluate the situation for a moment and reset your goals, because what you're trying to achieve will still be there when you find your feet, and then things will move forward very quickly. And so it's coming back to me what I said about this being Capricorn energy in my world versus Virgo energy. And I would put you at the 5, 6, 7 of Pentacles, right? And so that is echoing in my mind as I'm reading that. Look ahead to take the expectation off of your own energy. Find Capricorn in your chart, if needs be, plus Saturn. Know your chart. And I'm always happy to help with that. But this 10 of Pentacles, yes, your Virgo energy gets you halfway up the mountain. You need the Capricornus energy, the Capricorn energy, to get all the way up the mountain. And so if there's too much relying on the Virgo energy and overthinking or this pride situation, but you are the strategist. Virgo, Capricorn is the doer, the user, the, you know, getting it done. Not to say Capricorn doesn't think, but not at all. The opposite. But in terms of strategy, Virgo, this is absolutely your territory. So the question is, are these all you? In which case, the plan, the King of Wands always has a plan, and this person does not have a plan, right? Uncertain, because something is charted. Okay, I lost part of what I recorded, but I'm acting fast so that I can remember. Something's charted for revision. And it's taking me back to that Mott who is the daughter of the sun god. Yes, I was getting heavy Leo and 5th house energy. Leo rules the 5th house of creativity, self-expression, the force of will, self-esteem, pride. Blue, that's why it stopped, because I was missing the one thing, this throat chakra, this throat area. And I have two energies that are not communicating. Yes, they're not speaking. I mean, it could be swords. It could be swords energy as well, but this is communal. This is communion energy. This is got that spiritual element to it, that connection, that rootedness, dealing with guides, dealing with other dimensions. And so yes, we have constriction for self-expression, and God knows it. I also wanted to say, because I would put you as 5, 6, 7 of Pentacles, that 7 of Pentacles, that guy leaning on his hoe, and which is another version of his wand, right? It's magician energy, and it's the transformation. Virgo ends in transformation for me. 7s are transformation in my book. That promise to self, as Archangel Guidance says on YouTube, which a promise to self is a transformation of self. And so we're looking at the need then, and if we're dealing with 5th house issues, and I think that we are, and we need a strategy. So we need you to do your thing about realizing your strengths, because to get that plan, but also to allow, the decision has to be made to allow for the expression. Sorry about my radiator, I'll sum this up. But they need you to come to be heard. This is things are just, I want to double check. Yep, don't wait any longer to show people who you really are, hiding in the shadows. I was wondering if I was remembering somebody else's reading in the time that I've taken to stop these recordings, or because the camera cut. Absolutely. Get in front of that spotlight. If this is a spotlight, you need to be in front of it. Being torn between worrying about who you're going to lose, who you would, for expressing yourself, or if people won't like it. Will you lose the 3 of Cups? Will you end up in regrets and then not expressing even more? But you have to trust. You have to trust. You have to trust. They're making me review everything, but they love to do that. They love to do that. And they're opening right to the page I need. Yes, and things will move very quickly. Find your feet. I'll just sum it up. I've got a minute left on the camera. Went and deleted something, so that's more of further to the message. Reassessing, regrouping. Yes. I think I'm overstating it. I think I'm doing a Virgo thing, and I'm just over. It's very clear. It's very clear. You have to do what is you're already set to do. It's a confidence thing. And maybe it's in the details. The devil's in the details. Capricorn energy, devil's in the details. So if you've been avoiding any detail work, that's all. That's what your inherent confidence is. But there's no way to get over fearing the crowd until you get in front of the crowd. There's just no, you can't cure that any other way.